Good morning, happy holiday Monday. Today is May 18th. Where is the time going? And I'm just going to, you see I don't have my video assistant today. Today is a holiday, but I feel like in this strange Groundhog Day kind of world where every day blends into the next, it doesn't need to be a holiday Monday. Every day is a holiday right now if you are lucky enough to be safe in your own home. So today I'm going to do two readings. One is Yoga is Wisdom and the other is basically focusing on what today's pose is. It's funny how things align like that. Yoga is much more than our physical movement. And if you study the 8 limbs of yoga, asana is the third limb. It's the third least important, third in terms of importance. In Western world, we often think of asana or yoga postures and practice as the most important, and it actually is not. Yoga also offers us insights into our motivations and our desires, and the ways in which we think and feel about ourselves. We can broaden our experience of yoga by exploring yoga philosophy and mythology. And sometimes those little bits will weave their way in. The approach is called jnana, almost like our friend Yana, spelled J-H-A-N-A, jnana, yoga. The Sanskrit word Jnana means wisdom, and Jnana Yoga means the yoga of wisdom. Isn't that interesting that the word Jnana is the same of wisdom as our friend Yana, who is totally embodying wisdom. The Sanskrit word Jnana means wisdom, and it means the yoga of wisdom. In our lives as yoga practitioners, we can cultivate an intelligence of our physical body and of our mind. There doesn't need to be a separation. Wisdom can be found in every corner of yoga, whether we're moving on our mats, meditating on a cushion, or reading ancient texts, or applying the things that we do in yoga into our everyday regular lives. Yoga is wisdom. So then today's pose is actually, we would call it chaturanga or a half plank. We often use it as a transition instead of just flopping down into our belly, coming into sleeping cobra in our sun salutations. Some of you do use chaturanga. In the Ashtanga yoga practice, chaturanga was often used a lot more. Over the years though, that weight on our shoulder mechanism and our wrists is too much. As I aged, my core isn't as strong as I'd like. So these two things together prohibit me from using chaturanga or 4-limb staff pose or half plank as a transition. You are welcome to try it if you like, so we will do it. Can you combine strength with ease? One of the most difficult poses to hold is chaturanga, chaturanga dandasana, the Sanskrit name for 4-limbed staff pose. It looks like a lowered down version of a push-up. It entails determination and endurance. And to stay in the pose, you engage all your abdominal muscles, extend forward through the top of your head and back through your heels. In Sanskrit, chatur means 4 and anga means limbs. In this pose, your body is in the danda, the staff, the Sanskrit word for staff. And that's why this is dandasana, staff pose. Asana means pose. And it's supported by your 4 limbs, calling upon all of your patience and graceful power to hover just inches above the ground. So, before we get tired, before we do anything else, I think we should get our chaturanga and our plank position daily out of the way. Let's come on to a tabletop. I will try to show you chaturanga. So quite often we start as high plank and then I bend my elbows into each other and I'm just going to hover. I'm not doing a very good job. I'm hovering above the mat. That is upper body and core. And I can feel to come into that pose without part of a full flow or a sun salutation to me is a lot of work. So you will see me use it as a transition to come back down in sun salutation. Today is day 18. We're supposed to be at a minute 50 for our plank challenge. Let's see, that sounds like a lot. So you have a choice to take a break today. Unfortunately, I took Saturday and Sunday as a break. So I'm going to go ahead and try a minute and 50. And you can also do it as a half plank if you want to try it, kind of a hybrid of chaturanga. And maybe I will start that way and then come into a regular plank. So let's Let's find, ready? So I'm gonna step into half plank, elbows under my shoulders, engage my core, head looking slightly forward. And I want to keep breathing. I do feel shaking already. I literally just had my coffee. I'm going to keep using my breath to help stay in this pose. Engage the core. I feel my bum coming up. Sometimes I might do, come into dolphin as a break here, and then come back to my half plank. So already that's killing me. I'm gonna admit defeat and come into high plank. Whew, dog. We're almost at a minute, guys. Whichever variation you've chosen. Okay, that's a minute, now 50 more seconds. And guess what? It's okay if a minute is what your plank is gonna be for this practice. Really, when you think about it, we started at 20 seconds. So if you can make it to a minute, you're already amazing. Oh, so tired. I did a lot of gardening this weekend. I can feel it on my arms. Today's gonna be a painting day. Every day I try to pick one thing to do. Oh, don't look at your teacher. You can do it, a few more seconds. I'm curious who is enjoying this plank challenge. 10 more seconds, guys. Oh, actually, that was a minute 50. Good job. Oh. And an opposite pose would be an extended child's pose. And then come back up. So often we forget about our legs. We tend to have a lot of focus on what can I do to strengthen my upper body. In our world, we tend to do a lot with our arms and our hands. I've noticed my legs are getting tight. So, I encourage everyone to sit on your knees. I'm gonna do it from the side. So my feet are untucked. This feels effortless in the tops of my ankles and my feet. But I know for some of you it doesn't. So, two things. I can take my mat, roll it up a couple times and bring that on the tops of my feet. That just takes the edge off. I could use a flat white pillow. I could use a folded blanket. Let's try to stay here for 1 minute with the thought that as I press my knees down, press my thighs together. So remember, energy going in two different directions. Knees down, thighs together, belly engaged, sit up straight. I'm trying not to put a lot of effort onto the tops of my ankles. And can you sit here quietly? So one of the mudras I'll do is I'll make a little cup with my hands. My left hand makes a cup on my thighs, palm up. My right hand goes inside that cup, and some people touch their thumbs together. Shoulders back, belly engaged. I do encourage you to do this in front of a mirror sometimes to the side to see what does good posture look like in your body. Sometimes what it feels like and what our mind thinks we're doing are not the same thing. So I want to align thought and process together. So that was just over half a minute. You can do it 20 more seconds. Because you know what's coming next? The one I don't like, feet tucked, 1 minute in a meditation pose. And I'm gonna come into tabletop, tap the tops of my feet. Oh, tap, 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 tap. I might roll out my mat again. And the next one, get ready, start. I'm gonna come onto tucked toes. And this is said to stimulate the pineal gland, part of the brain. Thighs are together, knees root down. I'm on the toes. I know some of you anatomically cannot do this, so don't do it. But for some of you who want the challenge, we're gonna see if we can do this for 1 minute. I sometimes will even spread my fingers at the same time on my palms. Palms down. Belly engaged, sit up straight. Observe your posture. We're not gonna get rid of that lower back curve. This is killing me. You know why? I've missed going out clubbing. I have not had that opportunity to wear high heels. The one benefit of high heels is it puts my feet in this position, and then throw in the pressure of dancing or walking. 6 more minutes, 6 more seconds. We can do it. If you're really dying, kind of lean forward and press back and undo. That was 1 minute. Good job. So I'm going to tap my feet out again. Now another stretch I like to do while I'm here. Guess what? I use this for when we prep our upper body to come into planks, to handstands, but today we're going to use it for stretching the tops of our feet. So palms are under my shoulders, and let's see if you can do this. And this would be nice instead of push-ups. I'm literally going to press my weight into my palms and stay on the tops of my feet and lift my knees and then come back down. You know how much I love this stretch, so I'm going to take it further. You do not have to. I'll show you. I can stay here. I can lift 1 inch up. I can go a little higher, and I love this. I might even walk in. I did not take ballet. I went to a high school where it was the feeder school for the National Ballet. And then my opposite would be here. And all of my classmates were amazing, skinny, rich, A+ students, and all going to National Ballet. A stretch I would often see them doing is this. And they could stand on their feet and point with their shoes. Years later, I was teaching some teenagers who do synchronized swimming in Aurora on the competitive team. And this is a stretch they do. And then shake it out. And as my counter stretch, for every pose we have one direction, we put our body back in the other. I'm going to tuck and sit back. And guess what? Now it seems delicious. And undo. So, by now, if the tops of your feet are killing you, come back to that folded mat, because this one is for Yana. This one is to stretch now my quads. So we are focusing on the ankle and the top of the foot. Think about in ballet, if someone was elongating the whole front line of that leg. And again, in the ballet program in my school, the girls could get their toes, and guys, all the way to the floor here. I can force it to, but so this point and flex, and then can you do side and side, side, point, put it all together, circle. We're constantly talking about ankle mobility, and guess what? It also comes up in all the physio pages I follow. So next one, on my knees. Don't think about the pressure of the ankle. Think about knees rooting down to the earth, thighs together. And I'm going to start to lean back. So I can do it 2 ways. This one kills my ankle. I hold a pretend beach ball. I'm going to lean back. Woo! My knees want to lift. That's not what I want. So I can come in and out of this. Press together, root down, engage your core, lean back. And I might do that a couple times. Or I might take my hands behind me, puff my chest up, press my knees down. Root the knees down. And now I feel it down the front lines of my body, my thighs. And I might stay here for 25 more seconds. Why not? It's killing my knees, but it's a really nice lengthening of the front line of my thighs. Big chest opener. So today is not going to be, believe it or not, an intense class. It is a holiday Monday, Queen Victoria. I'm curious how long we will be celebrating her. Not sure why she gets a holiday. I would think it should just be called Monarchy Day and represent all the queens and kings that we've had throughout our heritage. Oh, and then come on out, top it out. However, as we move forward in history and see that sometimes the British heritage isn't always a good thing. Unfortunately, our British ancestors, not us, did a lot of not nice things around this world in the name of monarchy. And so I'd be curious if someday it just gets moved to be called bank holiday like in Britain. They're kind of smart, there's no politics, just call it bank holiday. So let's do a little side stretch. We just stretched the front lines of our body. I'm going to come into seated for a moment. Instead of my knees rooting down, my sits bones are rooting down. Sit up straight. Arms to the sky, reach up. Let's keep our face pointing forward instead of looking up. And I want to think of extending a paper accordion or a lantern. Engage the core, reach up. How much can you lengthen this side body, this rib cage, all of the back? And imagine someone's in the ceiling, you need to pass this to them. And you can even lift up and down your shoulders a couple times. You can squeeze to that imaginary center, engage the core at the same time. So squeeze. Tiny tip behind you, tiny tip forward. Forward, back, side to side. And then can you make very tiny circles so that I can feel it, but maybe you can't even see it. Bring that awareness to deep inside the center channel of the body where all these muscles are that hold us up, that hold our organs together so that we can process the food and nutrients we eat and then distribute it throughout the body. And then release. Oh. Let's switch legs. We're going to do the same action of rooting down and rising, but now I want to add a tiny back bend. So arms up. Engage the core, lengthen, and now the back bend comes when my head looks up and I pass a little bit behind me, oh, and then back to neutral. And look up, tiny back bend in the upper back and back to neutral. And one more time, look up and back to neutral, release. We're going to switch out our legs one more time and then we'll do the arm portion of sun salutations, which is a lot more available to some people's bodies than full sun salutations. So sitting up nice and straight, shoulders back, maybe even hold your knees with your hands, and can you lean back and come back to center and lean back. Notice that sensation of falling, but you're stopping yourself, you're supporting yourself. I'm going all the way into my tailbone, that feels really good, and then back. And then can you test yourself, go a little further back, just explore the sensation of almost falling, but you are supporting yourself. In the meantime, you get a little stretch. Forward, back, forward, back, and then back to neutral. Let's go, how far can I go to the left without my right bum cheek coming up? We'll sit up tall and center, and then to the right, sit up back. Now we're going to make a circle with our body. Forward, back. Keep it tiny and contained. This churning is very subtle. And there are times in yoga when we focus on the subtle body, and other times when we want big, extreme stretches. So keep that churning subtle. Notice all the sounds in your surrounding, and then switch the churning counterclockwise. Maybe start to exaggerate it clockwise. And imagine you're doing a beautiful dance. Eyes are closed, no one can see you. Being led by your sensations. And let's come counterclockwise in these big, exaggerated churning circles. And then slow it down. And back to what I originally said, our upper body sun salutation. So I'm going to take my arms to the side, tented fingers press into the earth, stand up tall in your chest, so engage your core. Stand up tall. You might feel some gentle stretching in the side body, the glutes, the hip flexors. Arms to a T, reach out through the palms, fingertips spread, reach out. I can feel it in my back muscles. Palms face forward. Slowly rise the arms in the sky to meet that imaginary beach ball. Engage your core and lower belly and lengthen without lifting your chin or jutting your chin. Exhale, arms down. Swan dive, hinge at the waist with the arms as they come down. Inhale up, let's keep our arms to our side this time, 2 rounds this way. Exhale, fold. Arms to the side wide. and come down the center, thumbs to sternum, heart center. Pressurize your palms together softly to open that chest. Arms, let's switch our legs. Fingers tented on the floor, press into the floor, grow tall in the chest. Feel all the muscles in your flesh corset supporting your ribs. Arms to a T, reach out through those spread fingers. Feel the muscles in the back. The energy's moving outwards, and you're engaging your core to sit up straight. Palms forward. Reach out, these are your wings. And finally, arms back in the sky, meeting that imaginary beach ball. Spread fingers, pressurize, isometrically pressing those palms to something that's not there. Reach up, maybe look up, add a tiny back bend. Exhale, arms down. Touching your fingers to the floor. Stand up in your chest, that's half back. Exhale, fold, bend at the waist, almost like a swan dive. Be led by the sensations of like a zipper down your back. Half back. Arms to the side wide. Palms reach in the sky above your head. Use your peripheral, or you're going to use your not being there. And then slowly bring those palms down your center, pressing them into each other, elbows out to the side. Thumbs meet at heart center or sternum. Sit up straight. Let's do 2 more rounds. Arms wide, fingertips press to the floor. Proprioception is really big here. I've not got my eyes open. I'm going by what does it feel like and the visual in my brain of what my body's like in this position or this space. Arms to a T, reach out. Palms face forward. Hands reach up. Squeezing into the imaginary beach ball. Engage the core. Reach up, lifting this ball to the sky, and maybe turn and look to the imaginary sun. Exhale, hands down. Notice all the muscles subtly move as you release your arms to the floor. Fingertips to the mat. Hinge at the waist. Half back, pick up your chest. Face to the imaginary sun. Exhale, fold. Arms to the side wide. And rest at heart center. Switch your legs. Let's do 1 more round. Arms wide, fingertips pressurizing into the earth. Sit up straight. Stand up in your chest, and that might mean walking your hands back a little further. If I want to make this a back bend, I'm going to look up at the imaginary sun. Arms wide, reach out through those spread fingertips. Feel all the muscles turn on up and down the back body. Palms rotate to face forward. Arms rise in the sky, meeting that imaginary beach ball. Reach up. Tiny back bend, look up. Exhale, fold. Arms wide, swan dive. Hinging at the waist. Notice, is this a nuisance or does this feel delicious in your back? Half back, pick up your chest, face forward, or look to the imaginary sun. Exhale, fold. Arms to the side wide, and final rest. Pressurize your palms together, thumbs together, coming down the center midline, pressing into sternum. Heart elevates. Pick up your face, so now your head is stacked on your spine. And let's take 5 breaths here. Your brain is going to do 2 things. Your brain is going to count a full inhale, exhale is 1 round. And you're also going to feel all the tiny, subtle nuances from this pose. How many muscles had to light up? Think about light bright or a Christmas tree, all the lights coming on. Notice all the twinges in your body just to sit up straight, aligned with mental presence. And notice that when your mind is on the physical form, this shape we've made, is your breath effortlessly flowing in and out of your body, doing its job. 3 more breaths. One more breath round, deep inhale. Pause and slow exhale through the nose. Don't let the shoulders relax. Soften in this shape. And then release your palms to your knees. You have a choice now. I'm going to do a reading. You can stay upright, eyes closed, listening, or you can slowly let yourself lie down. I don't think I've read this one before, and I just randomly let the book decide what we're reading. Today is Being Who You Are, Living Your Truth. When we are young children, we live authentically, seldom afraid or embarrassed to seek out what we want to, or to speak our minds. As we grow older, we tend to tuck that authenticity away, putting it aside while we chase our dreams, afraid that it might hinder us in our success, but we never let that freedom go completely. We may conform publicly to society's expectations while embracing secret passions when alone. We may withhold certain opinions, although this does not change the fact that we still possess them. I think of these as the social filters, or the cloak that we develop as we age. It is important, however, never to stray too far away from the youthful brashness and self-interest, for they are qualities that help make you who you are. The authentic you is your true self, and in living authentically, you make time for the things that you love and project who you really are. The simplest way to live your truth is to leave the expectations of others behind and act in the way that you feel is most worthwhile. To do so, it takes being selfish in a healthy way, by doing what you know is best for you, regardless of the opinions of others, even those of close friends and family. Living authentically means that you might make choices without fear, trusting in your soul's wisdom. If you value personal pursuits, do not feel forced into a certain job just to make enough money to keep up with your neighbors. Conversely, if you prize success in business, don't let others' perceptions of what is right for you hold you back. Denying your unique truth can lead to feelings of failure and dissatisfaction, because you are not acknowledging your authentic self. In living your truth, there are no pretenses. Everything you do will reflect who you truly are. And if you're unsure of who your authentic you really is, look inward and ask what your purpose is. What are your values, your needs? Maybe even make a list of what you think your dharma or your meant to be here is. Honor your strengths and try not to let yourself be guided by what others expect of you. Finally, discover your passions by trying new things and sticking with those that stir your soul. Finding who you really are and then making the choice to embrace your true dreams and desires will take your life in a direction that's both satisfying and deeply meaningful. And there is a saying that if we were doing what we truly loved in our vocation, it wouldn't be work. We would feel happy to go to work every day. It wouldn't even feel like work. It would be effortless because we'd be doing something that comes naturally speaks to all different levels to us. Pragmatic, practical, creative, emotional. Thank you so much for your effort, and I hope you have a beautiful long weekend. What's left of it, even in this misty day, I look at how lush and beautiful the next season we're entering is, all because of this rain. It's one of like the magical elixirs. It's kind of opening the next stage that we love. These green things, flowers, living, and ultimately that sun giving us a little break. The good in me sees the good in you. Namaste.